Alright, so now you can see I have all my solar panels on my board here. This is a 5-foot board, and my solar panels are 7 centimeters in diameter. So the board looks like it's about a ½ inch thick at 5 feet long, and it's a very flat press board, so that'll make it easy for the epoxy to go over top of these panels. And really, to make them sturdy, not breakable, or whatever you want to use for a term there, uh, I would definitely use the epoxy and rely on that big time, because if you read the perks of putting that clear coat epoxy on these solar panels, it even says on the benefits section of the bottle that the epoxy can withstand 1,500 pounds of pressure. So that's a lot of pressure. I mean, hail definitely doesn't have that much pressure unless you're hailing ice balls from the sky, and even then it would have a hard time breaking this. So really, that's the only part you have to worry about when it comes to making these solar panels sturdy. Now, I have 55 solar panels across here, and at 55 solar panels creating half a volt, uh, let me think, times about 700 milliamps max, I'll probably be this board right here will produce between 14 and 19 watts worth of power depending on the day. And 14 to 19 watts doesn't sound all that much, but when you look into the math of it, that's actually a good chunk of power. You could run a drill motor all day long with that kind of power. And drills have a lot of power. They use a good amount of power. So if this board is producing one drill's worth of power, just think about how many boards you could have. Now each board I'm using, mind you, I bought 5 boards for $10, and these panels I can get 50 panels at $5. $5 for 50 panels. Boards were $10. I can probably find them cheaper if I look hard enough. And the epoxy, if you use the instant epoxy, that would be the most expensive part. It's between $5 and $15 depending on the epoxy that you use. But you can get quite a few uses out of it. Now for the epoxy, being on this board, I just cover the spots where the panels would get broken at. So just right across, if you use that instant epoxy, put it right across the edges here, seal it right up, right along the edges, and right along the front side here with the instant epoxy, and it'll dry clear, and you won't have to get a mess all over the place having to dump and waste like a whole $60 bucket of epoxy for one set of solar panels. Because I just don't, I believe in being conservative. I try to make the most efficient, cheap product there is that'll last. So, yeah, we're at 14 to 18 watts worth of power. Stay tuned for the next video because I'm going to tack all of these together, and I'm going to demonstrate how much power they will be outputting and upload it in the next video. So stay tuned, guys. There's not a lot of money in this, but there's a lot of power. Think about it. See you on the next video, guys. Have a good one. Peace.